Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I hope it's not too cold, because the responses are sounding like it's cold weather. I would appreciate a warm good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you very much. The chairman, the head of school, members of the board, respected faculty and staff, devoted parents and guardians, invited guests, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2025, and of course our royal father, Kabiyesi. Good morning. Let me begin by saying how honored I am and humbled to be standing here today, being invited to speak at the luxury Valedictory Service feels like life coming full circle. I was seated here exactly 26 years ago, in 1999 specifically. I was probably seated somewhere around here. Of course, in 1999, a lot shorter, a lot slimmer, with a thinner voice, and with less understanding of how much this school had shaped me, which I've come to realize more and more as the days go by. And of course, I realized a lot yesterday when I went on a tour with the prefects, led by the current head boy, standing over there, the head girl, and two other very fantastic, or three other prefects. I really found it nostalgic, for lack of a better word. To be honest, when I was your age, I didn't really know what a valedictory speaker was. I just knew that I was someone who would hold a mic and then not get into trouble for taking too long. So I plan to honor that tradition today. I promise to speak from my heart, maybe make you laugh, hopefully inspire some of you, and definitely finish before you start checking your watches. Let me start by saying congratulations. You made it. You've actually made it. This is a big deal. And I'm not just saying about finishing your WAEC, your IB, or IGCSE, or whatever other alphabet soup you have conquered. You have endured school bells, deadlines, house competitions, COVID-era disruptions, I'm sure, and nothing else, if nothing else, countless speeches like this one. So yes, you have earned every beat of celebration today. Please let's clap for the graduating service. But beyond the ceremony, beyond the applause, beyond the photos you post later tonight, I want to speak to you about something deeper, something lasting. I think my speech today, legacy doesn't start later, it starts now. And I believe that with everything in me. When people hear the word legacy, they often think of old people, retired CEOs, founding fathers, billionaires, who put their names on hospitals and libraries, you know, people who have already made it. But the idea is wrong and dangerous because it tricks you into thinking that legacy is something you start building after success. Instead of understanding it's something you build towards success. Let me repeat that. Legacy isn't the result of success, it's the road to it. Legacy is not about being famous, it's about being faithful. It's not just about leaving what you leave behind, it's also about how you are living right now. Your legacy is already in motion. To my 17 graduates and every other student in this auditorium. It's how you treated your classmates. It's how you showed up in group projects. Did you carry the team or did you copy from them? It's how you spoke to the cleaner, how you spoke to the cook, how you spoke to the security man at the gate. It's the values you practice when no one is watching and when maybe everyone is. Those choices, that's legacy, that's character, that's you in construction. Now, since I run a construction company, Gutum Construction, you would have to permit me if I make use of a number of construction metaphors this morning. But honestly, life and legacy is a lot like buildings. Before you ever see a skyscraper, there's months, sometimes years, of digging, of laying foundations, of planning, of pouring concrete no one will ever see. This is what I do every day. You know, clients give us a project. Let's say they send us $1 billion naira, and we're still in the ground, and I say, your money is finished. Say, you have not done anything. What have you done with my 1 billion? And they don't realize, for many laymen that are not in the construction field, that what goes into the ground is as important as what comes out of it. And that is why I'm saying, let me tell you, the foundation is not the glamorous part. Nobody drives by his side and says, woo, that very lovely looking foundation is the roughest part. As a matter of fact, when we're laying the foundation, many times we don't want people to come to the side because it's rough, it's ugly, it's chaotic, people are running off everywhere, it's brown, it's muddy. In this season, it's rainy, it's flooded. But you know what? Your time in Olashere has been your foundation. You've learned how to think. You've learned how to lead. Let me take you back to a few of my own Olashere moments. I have a few of them. I will just mention 2 or 3. One of the most unforgettable teachers that I had while walking through these walls was our chemistry teacher. God rest his soul, Elder Awe, who taught us chemistry. He's late now. One of the most unforgettable things he would say to us, and I will say it as he said it, and then I will describe my now interpretation of it. He had a very deep voice. He would come to the chemistry class in the morning, most times directing his remarks to the boys, because he was also in the boys' hostel. He would say to us, hate them now, and they will surely love you later. Now, I will explain what he was referring to. He was talking to the boys, telling us to hate the girls now, that if we hate them now, they will surely love us later. Now, what he was saying was, focus on succeeding first, and all these other things that you are chasing now will chase you later. And I tell you the truth, without a shadow of a doubt, I now understand what he was talking about. Because guess what? Everything and everyone that I seem to be in a hurry to chase them, they are now running after me, quote and unquote. And I'm now the one that I say, it's enough, please, it's enough. What am I saying to you? This was the foundation that brought us to where we are. And that was from Elder Awe. I can't remember what year, maybe between 1995 to 1999 when we left here. He said it so many times it became a song. Hate them now, and they will surely love you later. Now to the graduating said, I'm telling you, hate them now, and they will surely love you later. Back then, when he said what he said, we all laughed at him, wondering, what is this old man talking about? But I tell you, looking back, I realized that he was not just giving academic advice, he was talking about life. He says, in short, succeed in your character, succeed in your mindset, succeed in your discipline, and yes, the rest will chase you later. Another teacher I remember so fondly was our physics teacher, Mr. Baba Eju. Mr. Baba Eju turned 60 a few days ago, and to show you I'm still very much in touch with him, I still wished him a happy 60th birthday a few days ago and sent him a decent sized gift to say thank you for everything that you did for us. Guess what? Apart from all the lessons that I learned in physics class, very passionate, brilliant physics teacher. By the way, I had A1 in physics because physics was my best teacher. Physics was my best subject and he was my best teacher, right? A few years ago, we bumped into each other in church and he came to me and said, I see you're in construction. My son studied architecture. I said, Mr. Barrow, you don't even need to say anything. Let him resume on Monday. And that is how his son began working with us, did his NYSC with us, did some projects with us. I still work with him very fondly. He had to go back to Ibadan. But what am I telling you? This life is a cycle. This life is so small. Could I ever have imagined back then that my favorite physics teacher, one day I would employ his son? That is how life is. So, but he taught us something else, that every action has a reaction. That is physics. A principle that applies not just to the choices that we make, but also in physical motion, just as it taught us, small, intentional actions lead to lasting results if you stay consistent. And this has become my life principle. I don't try to do too many big things at the same time. I just take small, dedicated, consistent steps, and I see the results as time goes by. That is the way life is. So here is what I will leave with you today. I'm going to give you 4 truths about legacy that I've learned over my years. These are the things I wish someone had told me clearly, boldly, and early, maybe at a speech like this. Number 1, legacy is built daily, not eventually. You are not preparing to leave a legacy. You're already living one. When you choose to be honest, even when it's hard, that's legacy. When you apologize when you're wrong, that's legacy. When you include the person who is usually left out, that's legacy. Don't wait till you are rich or powerful before you start making impact. Do it now, in the little things, because little things grow. I can tell you that. Little things grow. Number 2, excellence is a form of legacy. Let me say this clearly. Being good at what you do is not arrogance. It's a gift to the world. Excellence is something that I learned in this world, and I still see it today. We walked around the school grounds yesterday, and I went back and had a brief chat with the chairman, and I said, all I can say is, the school is exactly how it was when we left it 26 years ago. Everything looking neat, the lawns are green, everything is leveled, you know, the grass is clean, the shades, the flowers are cut. And you know what? Believe it or not, this is shaping your life. Because I did not realize that this thing was shaping my life. Now, my staff cannot write a report for me. They know that I will find the errors first. I just glance, the errors come out. This was from the foundation of excellence. You can't do it, you can't do a wall that is not straight on my side. I sit there, I say bring it down, and you're going to pay for it. So if you're an engineer on my side, you better know what you're doing. This is excellence. I learned it in these walls. And it has shaped my life. And guess what? When we were crafting our values as an organization, 5 values. The first of them is excellence. The second is collaboration. The third is integrity. The fourth is innovation. And the fifth is leadership. When you look through that, you see that those are values that Olasore preaches. And they have been with me since 1994 when I entered these halls up till now. And they're never going to leave me because they have become hard-coded in my brain. So excellence is a form of legacy. Be excellent. Be excellent in everything you do. Be excellent in your appearance. I remember some of our colleagues back then, he would so iron the trouser that it can cut, the gator can cut your hand. Those were the lessons. Excellence in everything. When they say the way you appear is the way you be addressed, how you are addressed is the way you be addressed. Be excellent in everything. Be excellent in how you show up. Be excellent in how you speak. You know what? Public speaking was something that I learned in this world. It has never left me. If you wake me up in the middle of the night and say, Tope, you have to deliver a speech about space, give me 5 minutes. I will speak for 30 minutes non-stop. This was learned in this world. This was learned in this world. When we had debating nights, when we had social nights, when we had variety night, dancing, all of that, teaching us culture, teaching us art, teaching us an appreciation of the smaller things. Olasore made me a rounded human being. I'm not just good in academics, I'm not the best in sports, but if you give me a ball, I'll do something there. If you give me a mic, I'll definitely speak. If you put me on the stage, I'll perform. If you give me a mic to sing, I'll sing too. If you give me a stage to dance, I'll surely dance. That is what Olashore did for me. If you put me in a room and say, you have 10 minutes to come out with business, trust me, I'll come out with a few transactions from that. And I have a few friends who is nodding here, who have seen me in action. My namesake, Temitope Lewis, who is here with his wife, and I understand one of his children are graduating. Congratulations. Number 3, failure is not an end, it's the workshop of legacy. Guess what? Shh, you will fail. I'm sure somebody say, I will not fail in Jesus' name. I'm a pastor. You will fail. You will make mistakes. You will get things wrong. But that's okay. I failed many times. I eventually got a job as a graduate trainee at JP Chase. I was telling the chairman yesterday, but that was after 150 applications, failed applications. But somebody will see me resume that year, 2006, January, at JP Chase office in London, and say, wow, this guy succeeded. But nobody saw the 150 applications, the 150 applications, because I was an international student, and we were only allowed to apply to companies that would apply for work permits. There were very few, so the entry was highly competitive. Guess what the stages were? An online application. If you succeed at that, they'll send you an online test. If you succeed at that, before you come for the first interview. If you succeed at that, then you come for the second interview. If you succeed at that, then you have the assessment center. If you succeed at that, then you get an offer. 150 times. Do you know the meaning of that? You will fail, but guess what? I was failing and smiling because I knew with every failure I was getting closer to a success. That is the lessons I learned in Olashore. And, you know, because I failed at that so much, and then I succeeded. Now, business failure, I expect it. I've lost millions, couple of millions in business decisions. But I wake up again the next day and go again. When you are a businessman in Nigeria, you better learn how to fail, because you will have plenty of it. If you don't look for it, it will look for you. But what happens? Because of dedication, because of tenacity, because of consistency, because of the things I learned and heard our principal say back then, Dr. Burgess, he will speak like this for hours, and those things became ingrained. I never fear failure anymore. If I fail, well, where's the next one? We get on with it, and then eventually we will succeed. So, I've made many decisions in business that cost millions, but those same experiences gave me insight into how to lead teams, how to win contracts, and how to mentor others, and I've done a lot of that. So don't be afraid of failure. Be afraid of not learning from it. That is when there's a problem. Failing is not a problem. It is when you learn nothing. That's when there's a problem. Finally, number 4. Legacy is not about you, it is about others. I mean, look at this hall. We're here celebrating the legacy of a man, and I'd like us to appreciate, in absentia, our late founder, Valedictory Service, whose vision we are sitting inside today, whose legacy we are sitting inside today, who everything we dreamed about is where we are today. Imagine if he did not do this. Imagine if he did not have this vision. Imagine if he did not do this when he did. 1993, 92, he had this vision. We are here in 2025. We are still living inside the vision. That is the meaning of legacy. Ultimately, legacy is about how others are affected by your life. So as you are seated there today, begin to think, how will others be affected by my life? And this has become a lesson that has become a part of me. A few years ago, I had a very, very problematic project. And in that project, it was so chaotic. And the client was going to take the project away from us. And on one occasion, I sat down and I prayed to God. I said, God, on this site, I employ personally about 30 to 50 people. So if they take away this project, I'm going to have to send them home. I don't want to sack anybody. God, fix it. Guess what? This project had been problematic for about 3 months. I had staff that were not doing anything, but I refused to let them go. I was paying their salaries month in, month out for 5 months with no work to do. The day I prayed that prayer to God and said, God, If you want them to take this project, let them take it. But give me a new one that I will carry these people and take them to. It was no more about me. It had become about the people. And that is what legacy is. Legacy is not about yourself. You are too small. You need to be thinking bigger than that. Thinking bigger than how would I take care of myself or my family. It's good. It's good. It's a starting point. But we need to go beyond that. And that is what legacy is about. The best people I've worked with in construction, in leadership or life, are those who made other people better. That's real legacy. That's not just to aim for success, it's to aim to be significant. I like the graduating people, look at the guy next to you and say, aim to be significant. I can't hear you. Aim to be significant. And in the years to come, if someone somewhere does better, tries harder, dreams bigger, because of something you said, something you did, or something you built, then you have lived a life of legacy. Now, let me say a word to the parents and the teachers. To every parent here today, congratulations. Congratulations. And congratulations. You have invested prayers, school fees, discipline, unconditional love. You have believed in these young ones even long before they believed in themselves. Your legacy is smiling, probably fidgeting, seated next to you there. I say a big congratulations. And I pray that the investment will yield results. Amen. To the teachers and the staff, you are nation builders. You have shaped lives more deeply than you will ever know. We still remember your lectures. We still remember your quotes like the one I told you today. We still remember your life lessons. And yes, we remember your punishments too. And I remember one of our teachers, our PE teacher, Mr. Fadimoko, very specialist in special punishments. We would jog with hockey sticks from this school to Ijebu-Jesha as part of sports training. Not punishment, but it felt like punishment then. I'm sure these ones don't understand that. That was our training. You know, I was walking past and I was telling the head boy and head girl and the others, I said, every tree, every grass that you see in this place, we planted it. This is the result of our punishment. So punishment is not always bad. We will carry topsoil. Go and carry topsoil to plant everything that you see here. We planted it, I can tell you that. Of course, we are not the ones that maintained it, but we planted it. So the punishment is looking good out here. And that tells us about what punishment is about. You have sown seeds into generations. I'm speaking to the teachers. And those seeds will bear fruits for decades and probably centuries. Finally, to the class of 2025, you are not leaders of tomorrow. You are legacy bearers of today. Start now, build now, serve now, love now, succeed now. One day, someone will introduce you on the stage and say, because of her, I didn't give up. Because of him, I dared to dream. Because of them, something changed. And when that day comes, remember this, it didn't start later. It started here. It started now. Congratulations, class of 2025. Go and build your legacy. Thank you very much for listening this morning.